Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at the big story we're tracking for you. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is fighting for his premiership. A series of scandals have mounted troubles for Johnson. The allegations have caused public anger and led some Conservative lawmakers to call for Johnson's resignation. More and more Conservative lawmakers are joining the calls for Johnson to face a vote of no confidence. There are at least 17 Tory MPs who have submitted letters of no confidence, but only 7 have publicly confirmed that they have taken this step. Now, the true number of letters may well be higher and nearer the threshold. In order to trigger a vote on the MPs, from the MPs, the Prime Minister's leadership of the party, at least 54 MPs need to write to the chairman of the party's 1922. While it takes 54 MPs to trigger a confidence vote, 180 would then be required to ensure his removal.
I take responsibility and I apologise, Mr. Speaker.
WION correspondent Ali Barrett is joining us live from London for more on this story. Hello to you, Ali. Thank you for being with us. Now, the rebellion seems to be growing within Johnson's own party. So the big question right now is, will Boris Johnson face a no-confidence vote? Now we are coming to you on the latest story coming out of the UK on the possible pending no confidence vote on British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. And we are being joined by Ali Barrett, joining us live from London. Ali, I hope that you can hear me. And I want to jump right in with the big question. This rebellion does seem to be growing within Johnson's own party. Big question, will Boris Johnson face a vote of no confidence?
But as for his political point, I don't think that he should preempt the outcome of the inquiry. I take responsibility and I apologise, Mr. Speaker. But as for his political point, I don't think that he should preempt the outcome.
All right, I do think that we have Ali with us now. Hello to you, Ali, joining us live from London. Now asking you the big story, the rebellion that is growing within Johnson's party. Will Boris Johnson be facing a vote of no confidence?
Well, just to correct one statistic that you gave us, 17 letters into the 1922 committee. We absolutely do not know that for a fact. We have around 11 or 12 Conservative MPs who've now come out and said that they have sent a letter into the 1922 committee. We've had a number of other Conservative MPs saying that they believe it's time for Boris Johnson to go, but it's not clear how many of them have actually sent a letter into the 1922. Indeed, it could even be more than 17 because those letters do go in anonymously, secretly. MPs don't have to reveal when they have sent a letter into Sir Graham Brady, who heads the 1922 Conservative Committee. So that makes it very difficult indeed to predict exactly if or when Boris Johnson could face a confidence vote. He does have to see 54 letters from Conservative MPs calling for one to take place to trigger one. And Downing Street will not know much more than I do or you do about exactly how close we are to 54. Some Conservative MPs will tell you they don't think we're quite there yet. But having seen 4 MPs from the Conservative Party over the last 24 hours or so saying that they have sent their letters in, that is a reasonable number. And if that kind of level of letters continues over the days to come, we would be heading towards that 54 threshold pretty quickly. By the same token, some Conservative MPs are very much waiting and seeing. Some are still saying they want to see the outcome of the full Sue Gray report into parties in and around Downing Street before they make their minds up. Some are saying the police investigation needs to conclude. Others say this is not the right time to change the leader of the Conservative Party and therefore the Prime Minister, and want to hold off a little bit longer, especially when he is trying to involve himself in diplomatic efforts around Ukraine. So a very difficult one to predict, but what we can say is that Boris Johnson remains under very significant pressure.
Absolutely. Now, of course, you've mentioned this timing significant. Johnson has been accused of diverting the glare from his Partygate scandals by hiding behind the Ukraine crisis and domestically the level up policy. Now, how true would you say this accusation is?
Well, in one sense, we know it to be true, which is that Boris Johnson says that he would rather that we all focused on his efforts around Ukraine rather than on the scandal and the controversy around parties in and around Downing Street. He says that this is an important geopolitical issue, that the UK would be wrong to ignore it just because of domestic travails at home. In one sense, he and the opposition Labour Party agree on this. Labour accused Boris Johnson of being distracted by issues at home at a very important time when it comes to international relations and that tension with Russia over Ukraine. We also have the government making announcements today on interventions in the so-called cost of living crisis. We have energy bills going up, inflation on the rise, and the government making moves in that regard, trying to show with that and its efforts on the Ukraine crisis that it is still capable of governing. The Labour Party, though, insists that this is a distracted government and that Boris Johnson should go so that the government can focus on these issues more readily.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.